Dave, I know you've talked about how this past week you've seen a different type of intensity from your players. When you look at and when you say that, what really stood out to you, just whether performance-wise from the guys this week or preparation-wise?
I think, yeah, it's a great question. I think I've just seen, I guess it's part of being in playoff mode for the last month and narrowing our focus, playing 27 outs, being mindful of bases and how we go about each night. It's raised our level of play. And, there's a lot of talk about other ball clubs. And, you sort of layer that in with how it's been the last couple of years for us. I think that there's some intensity, some want to, pay some people back and show how good we are. And I like that. I like that feeling that's resonating in our clubhouse.
With Freddie Freeman, how is he doing today? How did he come out of the sim game yesterday? I know he was just taking at bats, but just what kind of step forward was that for him?
It was a good step forward. He's working down below with some arms down there. He took some live at bats. He'll go through his full workout today. So I'm hopeful that. I'm expecting him to be in the lineup. What that looks like, I guess we'll know when we see him out there. But with Freddie, I don't doubt that he'll be ready to go.
We'll go to Fabian standing up on the right.
Yeah, Dave, with Freddie, do you need to see him run the bases, play first base to sort of feel comfortable starting him out there game one?
He's going to do that today. I think it'll be helpful. I think it'll be helpful for him too. I think for him, just making sure it's a net positive today as far as how he feels and comes at it today is most important, and then get to tomorrow. So I just really don't think that there's any decision that's going to be made today or needs to be. And so tomorrow, as we get into the day and kind of see where he's at. But again, I'm still optimistic.
And with Yamamoto, you guys have pointed a lot to that Yankee Stadium start, sort of like a sort of milestone for him to be able to handle this kind of moment. What do you remember about that night, and what do you think he sort of maybe gained confidence-wise from being able to have that kind of night?
I think that was probably, once he got his feet under him, I think that was, and I think I point to that because that at that point in time, I think the Yankees were probably playing the best out of anyone in baseball, and to go to that ballpark, which is certainly a storied stadium, or even the new one, but it was just kind of an opportunity for him to and for us to see how he was going to respond on that stage. And I thought he threw his best baseball game of the year, and he's still seasoned as far as pitching in big ball games. So I'm really confident in the talent. I think the heartbeat's going to be fine in his first playoff game.
Go to Kevin standing up on the left side.
Hey, Dave. You're kind of uniquely qualified to talk about the progress of the Padres, even from the time they got good, because it's you that they see every time they get to the playoffs. The growth from, say, that 2020 series in Texas.
I think with San Diego, yeah, I've seen it. I think there's the core, Manny, Cronenworth, obviously, Musgrove, who's hurt now. But I just think that there's a confidence. Tatis, obviously. They've won some big ball games. They've always known they're talented, and they finally learned how to win. And so, yeah, I think, yeah. I was there when they weren't so good and when they were good, and so it's obviously it's a talented, it's a fun group to watch. It's going to be a fun series. Yeah.
I did want to ask you about Joe. Obviously, you've seen him recently, and you've seen him a lot, and when you hear devastating news like that about a good pitcher and a guy that you know, what are your thoughts?
It's a bummer. Joe is not only a good pitcher, he's a great guy, fantastic guy, and you never want to see that to anyone. It's unfortunate. It's rampant in our game. And so to be at the 1 yard line, and as far as in this series, and for him to not be a part of it, it sucks. And I feel for him.
Go to the second row on the right.
Hey, Dave, recent history, even though you just played 156 games, you just played the Padres last week. What did you learn, if anything, from your team out of that series? And is there anything that you guys can draw from winning that series?
I really didn't. I think there's a few series that you can point back to that, you got to bow your neck. You got to find a way to win a baseball game, win a series. That was one of them. And I just know that there's toughness. And I just think that for me it was obviously a big series. We won a series at home, but this is a team that's coming out of a postseason series that we've got to, get it in gear from the outset. And in a short series, things happen quickly. And so we've got to be ready again from the outset. And if we can do that, I really like where we're going to be at.